Cardinals Corner from Arizona Sports.
Cardinals Corner from Arizona Sports with Tyler Drake and Lauren Koval.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Cardinals Corner. I'm Lauren Koval, joined as always by the lovely and talented, sitting in a beanbag chair, Tyler Drake. Tyler, how are you doing today?
It's not a beanbag chair. It is not a beanbag chair.
It looks a lot like a beanbag chair, so I'm going to continue to make the joke.
No. You said it right before we started. It looks more like Blue's Clues chair.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Okay, we'll take it. It's brown. It's not an exciting color, but that's okay. That's all right.
It's like casual lounge status. What are you talking about? This is great. This is sophisticated stuff over here.
Okay.
But outside of you talking trash about my setup, we're doing good.
Outside of that, okay, good. I'm glad that we're bringing sophistication and classiness to this podcast. But
yeah,
we got a lot of things to talk about on this podcast where I thought we'd sort of transition into wow, the Cardinals won. Let's see what they can do against a division rival this weekend. That has pivoted because we have quite the storyline this week with the Cardinals quarterback controversy, if you want to even call it that at this point. That feels like you're not doing your due diligence anymore. Jonathan Gannon tells the media after the game, Kyler Murray is still our guy. When he's ready to go, he'll be out there. Then we get some question marks about his health status and when he'll actually be able to be back on the field. Then we hear from Jonathan Gannon on Tuesday. Is Kyler Murray going to hop on the IR? I don't know. When he's ready. And then Kyler Murray's on the IR. He will miss the next 4 games for sure. Jacoby Brissett is their starting quarterback.
Yeah, what a roller coaster of, honestly, it feels like a month now. Because let's say week 5, probably about a month now since he went down. It's just been he's close, nothing's changed, to Jacoby's going to start, to now Kyler's on the IR. Like, it is just avalanche. And before they even made the decision to put Kyler on IR, they absolutely 100% made the right move by just getting out in front of it. Jacoby, you're the starter for Seattle. But I think all of us sitting in that media room kind of had a feeling of, this is going to be beyond Seattle. Like, let's be honest. He's earned the right to do it. Put him in the saddle. Let him get going. Now you have this IR. It's so much more clarity for right now this season. 4 games. You don't come back until week 14 against the Rams at the earliest. I don't think he's coming back. I know that there's a chance he can, but I don't think he does. And honestly, I think we might have seen the last of him in a Cardinals uniform, because we're getting to the point now where this was supposed to be the season make or break for Kyler. That's what it was. Heading into here, if he can't get it done this year, year 3 with the current regime, changes were coming, and he was going to be part of them. Now, he only gets 5 more games to show that he can be better than Jacoby Brissett in this offense after he's already shown the first 5 games of the season that he's not better than Jacoby in this offense. The writing is on the wall. And if you're sitting there saying, Kyler's still the guy, you are not, like you said, doing your due diligence on what's going on in the situation. Because this way, they keep him off the field. They can try to keep whatever trade value is left for maybe an offseason move. We know Monty Osfort loves to get his picks. We know he loves draft capital. But if not, you cut him and you move on. But you can't diminish the value of throwing him out there for the last 5 games after what you've already seen on tape from him. That's not going to work. And if he goes out there and gets hurt again, tanked. Value's tanked. So if you're going to try to recoup anything out of this deal, you don't play him again this year. You let him heal up from that injury, and you just keep him on the shelf. You move on in the offseason. You give this regime a hand-picked quarterback that they get to choose, that they want in their system. You let Jacoby Brissett be that mentor, be that starting quarterback early on before he gets the reins, and there you go. There's your reset. There's your, not rebuild, but there's your drop in the hat. Something's changing big time. And if it doesn't go that way, I will be unbelievably shocked. Because here's the thing. Jacoby Brissett is either going to continue to lead this offense the way he has, They're going to try to climb back into that playoff picture, which they could with how he's playing. You're not going to throw Kyler back in there. You're not going to change things up and say, yep, we're doing great with Jacoby, but Kyler's healthy. Let's go. That's going to send such a bad message in the locker room. And then here's the other side of it. Jacoby doesn't get it done. This offense sputters again. Are you really going to throw him in there in a lost season when you know that changes are coming? No. So it's done. I really do think it's done.
And I think the more sort of confusing wrench in all of this was we saw Kyler Murray start to amp up his practice before the Cowboys game in Dallas. We saw him move from second team reps to first team reps back to second team reps. Then we saw the tweets on Sunday night before the Monday night game. Kyler Murray will be available if the Cardinals need him in a certain kind of role with Jacoby, or he could come in later. Then that's shut down by Monday. Kyler's not playing. This is Jacoby Brissett's game. He has the reins. Jacoby goes out there and wins you the game in Dallas in a dominant fashion. At no point can you go, Jacoby didn't do what he needed to do in that game. He did exactly what you needed him to do to get you the win and close out that game for the Cardinals. So then you start to question, how is Jonathan Gannon still sitting in these pressers after the game going, Kyler's our guy. When Kyler's ready, he'll be our guy. And I feel like time finally caught up with them because it was, no, Kyler is not our guy. And we have an excuse. We can put Kyler on the IR for 4 weeks. And that way, we don't have to answer any more quarterback questions. We know that he's still recovering from this injury, which did seem, per the tweets once he went on the IR, Adam Schefter's tweet, that this foot injury might have been more severe than we originally thought it to be. So now they're being careful. You don't want to hurt his trade value. And like you just said, you've laid out exactly the two options that the Arizona Cardinals basically have for the end of this year into the beginning of next year. And now you have to sit back a little bit and go, okay, what if Jacoby is the guy who gets it done the rest of the year? Maybe you go 500. Now we're in a new situation. We have a new problem. And what's that new problem? You might not have a high enough draft pick to go out there and get a really good QB in this draft. And now you're stuck in no man's land because you don't have enough trade capital this year. Like you said, Monty Austin-Fort loves trade capital. You don't have a lot in this year's draft coming up. You don't have a lot of options to move your picks around. So you decide to trade Kyler. You hope that you get something that maybe you can start to wheel and deal in the draft and get a higher priced quarterback like that. Or are you deciding that Jacoby's your starter for next year too, just so you can wait it out to see what happens with the quarterback class in the next year and decide to move on from then? I mean, those are really the Cardinals' options moving forward, and none of them set up a very clear picture besides the fact that Kyler Murray is done here in Arizona.
Yeah, it really does. And that's a good point is if Jacoby leads this offense, continues to do what he's doing, continues to put them in over 330 yards total offense. Passing yards are still there. The points per game continue to go up. Like, he could very well be the answer next year. They've already got him in-house. You can maybe extend we need a rookie, we need a young guy to get in here and really start molding. You might be able to extend that a little bit. It all depends on what they think about the draft, but it just feels like this is last week, we kind of talked about how it felt like a crossroads, a turning point type of situation. Like, Kyler missed his opportunity to really silence the noise and prove that he was still the guy. It was a perfect setting. Monday Night Football in Dallas, where he doesn't lose, where he gets it done, but he can't even get healthy to get there. And what does Jacoby do? He goes and balls out and shows everybody that he is the answer moving forward. And that's what it is. The results speak for themselves. Everybody can be, Kyler fan, not Kyler fan. The results of what is happening right now tell you that Jacoby is the better option for this offense. It's just, and that's, I think people are starting to understand that. The people that didn't want to grasp that originally are finally starting to see that. There is a difference. There's more explosives on third down. There's more explosives in general. that's just something that is so unbelievably different. Play action, under center. You can just continue to go on. Like, they can put this, Jacoby Brissett and Drew Petzing can put this offense in a better place than what we've seen with Kyler, and we're seeing it. It's fact.
And those explosives are that pass to Michael Wilson over the middle in that game against Dallas.
Longest pass of the year.
And you don't see Kyler Murray making that. So I have no qualms over this decision to put him on the IR and to not see him for probably the rest of the season. I mean, your debate for the Cardinals then becomes, do you have to put Kyler Murray out there to prove that he's healthy? So when you decide to trade him, or are you just risking more injury and you already have all these seasons with the Cardinals of other teams to look back on and see what Kyler's been able to do in the NFL? And your aggressive head shaking leads me to believe that you agree with option 2 in that one.
Well, we were already talking about that heading into this year. 6 seasons, 1 playoff appearance, and a terrible one at that. For a franchise quarterback, that is probably too long to be in town when you're not getting it done at that point. And obviously, yes, torn ACL, having to rehab from that, you've got to take that in consideration. But again, like I said, this was the make or break year for him. He had to show that he could get it done. This team clearly took a step forward last year. And with him at the helm, they didn't do that. They had 2 wins at the beginning of the year against teams that they should have blown out. Instead, they win by 1 score. The concerns were there 2 weeks in. We talked about it. We had a podcast about it. And now you're seeing what this offense can actually be on a consistent basis. And here's the other thing. As much as we're talking about X's and O's, the distraction side of it. Cardinals don't have to focus on this every day. Players don't have to open up Twitter and see, oh, we don't know who our quarterback is again. Like, the distraction side of it is crucial too. They can actually focus on ball, because here's the thing. This week and moving forward is going to be brutal, tough. Not saying they can't get it done, but Seattle's going to be brutal. That's going to be a tough game to win.
All right, and pivoting off of this quarterback news over to actually the game of this week on Sunday when the Cardinals are taking on the Seahawks. Practice ramping back up again. They're on to a regular schedule following Monday night's game. What did you see out there today?
Well, one thing, I didn't have to count snaps between Jacoby and Kyler because Kyler wasn't out there. That was a nice.
Good. I'm glad that your math skills got to take a rest today.
Yeah. So, Jacoby doing his thing with the normal pass catchers. Keaton Slovis was there. Jeff Driscoll got signed to the practice squad, a familiar face there. He's been here before. But some big-time names missing from practice. Max Melton, Will Johnson, Mac Wilson. Holy cow. That's not what I wanted to see. I don't think what anybody wanted to see, especially when you see what Seattle's doing and who they just added. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. If anybody can get back, obviously, if they don't expect them to play. That's what it's going to come down to. And with Max, especially, he's still in protocol. So if he's not out there in the non-contact yellow jersey tomorrow, I mean, even getting out of that, I just don't think he's going to go. So hopefully they can get Will Johnson and Mac back, but I'm very not looking good for Max, in my opinion.
Not very optimistic there, I can tell. In your talk of the addition that the Seahawks made, Raheed Shaheed coming over from the Saints, adding more depth to this Seattle Seahawks team, a team that we just saw over the weekend on Sunday night, they floored me with their offense and the power that they have there and what they were able to do. And so much so, you got to shout out their defense too, because their front 5 is incredible. And if you want a game for Jacoby Brissett to, here I am at the helm of this team against one of the best front 5 in the league, here you go. Enjoy. Yeah. Because now you're seeing it against the Seahawks. And the Seahawks, they didn't have Cooper Kupp last week. So something to keep an eye on there. Because of that, now the injuries to the Arizona Cardinals and who you didn't see out there in practice feels all the more important, because what you just listed off is basically half of the starting backs for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah, and you've got to look at who else is on that team. Like Raheed Shaheed is obviously going to be a problem. In New Orleans, he was a problem, and they are not very good. Jonathan Gannon, very clearly scary. That's what he called him.
not only as a receiver, but on fourth down as a return man too. So I expect him to get up to speed. I expect him to be a factor. Deep shots are his thing. That is I mean, if that was one name that I would be like, oh man, Cardinals got that guy at the trade deadline, that's gonna add some stuff. But then you look at everybody else. Jackson Smith and Jigba, dude's going off. I think he had 129 yards last game. Problem. An absolute problem. But then you've got this guy, Torrey Horton, too.
Yes.
It's like, okay, he just had a breakout game. They went and got Shaheed. He kind of fell by the wayside, but he is going to be a problem. And then Barner, the tight end, too. He's a sneaky addition to this team that they've got some offense. And Sam Darnold, the beginning of the year, we made it very clear that we didn't know what this team was going to be like because Geno to Sam, can Sam really find that lightning in a bottle again? Clearly he did. He found it. He bottled it up again. He's drinking it every week. Like Seattle's, I think, probably the front runner for me right now to win the NFC West.
And I'd agree with that just because of what they've been able to do in these games. I mean, what the Niners have been able to do is impressive with the number of injuries that they've had so far this season. And Mac Jones coming in and really taking over the team better than I think anybody expected that they would be able to do in that way. We've seen the Rams really showcase sort of a version of the Rams that we've seen over the past few years, especially with Stafford and Puka out there, the question marks of Cooper Kupp and what they'd be able to do on offense. Those are gone. No holdups on that whatsoever. They look great. And now you've got the Seahawks, who look like they could run away with this division if given the option to do so, especially with the difficult schedule that all of these teams have, but the Seahawks making the absolute most of it so far this season. And like you said, Sam Darnold, I mean, this has really been a season of quarterback resurgence in the NFL. You leave one team, go to the next one, and you look better. And Sam Darnold is the perfect example of that. I'd also look over to Tampa Bay with Baker so far this season, what he's been able to do over there. Sam Darnold is having a Baker Mayfield-esque season here in Seattle because you do have the question marks of what he's going to be able to do. And what is Mike going to be able to do to help Sam on the offensive side of the ball? And have they made the correct additions? And I think the sign that the Seahawks go out there and get Shaheed at the deadline is a sign that they think they're moving in the right direction. Oh, yeah. So you can make additions to this offense where you feel your weaknesses are.
Yep. It's going to be a battle. And here's the thing. I mean, they are so unbelievably good against the run.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Cardinals were at their best right now in the run game, this would be the team that would give them the biggest challenge. That's why it's going to be so much more. I mean, all eyes are already on the quarterback situation moving forward. I know we have a little bit of clarity with Kyler being on IR, but Jacoby is going to be throwing the rock a lot on Sunday. I just see it happening. They could maybe find a window to get them, beat the defense that way, but against the run, Cardinals running the rock is going to be incredibly tough this week. So it's largely going to fall on Jacoby getting it done and the defense, who potentially have to make up for some injuries, holding Sam in this offense that just, I mean, he didn't have an incompletion in the first half. He had 4 touchdowns. That's Madden numbers on easy.
all in a first half with those completions. And just like you said with the run game, I think that's part of what helped Jacoby Brissett so much against the Dallas Cowboys on Monday night was not feeling like he had to do everything himself in the pass game. And he didn't have to, break away from the pocket as quickly as he needed to because we have a check down to a running back, or he can hand it off, and it really worked well for him in that Dallas game. Those are things that are going to be limited or maybe not options at all against this Seattle Seahawks defense. So it'll be interesting to see how the Cardinals adjust to this, how they game plan for this, now that they also know moving forward that Jacoby Brissett's their guy, and this is what they're set up to do.
Yeah, it's clarity. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And like I said, there's no more distraction. You can go play ball. This is the right move this team needed to do. It absolutely was. The weirdness of going back and forth from he's close to nothing's changed to Jacoby's going to start to now he's on. Yeah, that's weird. That's wild. There's clearly something going on there. But now you can at least focus that much more on X's and O's, try to build off this Cowboys win and really make it I mean, do something that's hilarious. Go be good in the second half of the season after you've been atrocious the last couple years. Like that would be the funniest thing to happen is after starting out so good the last couple of years, fall flat early on, figure it out at the end, and really make the end of the season matter and be purposeful. Like there's a really good chance it flips around based on just the momentum that you can build off that last win.
With one of the toughest remaining schedules in the NFL now. That would be
Yeah.
sort of like a ha-ha, but also a very sarcastic laugh from me here in the studio. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for zooming in from your beanbag chair. As always, appreciate it. And now we've got a big matchup on Sunday. Cardinals against the Seattle Seahawks. We'll be sitting back here in studio on Sunday to break it all down. So thank you, Tyler.
Yes, no problem. Always happy to be on.
All right, guys, you can tune back into Cardinals Corner on Sunday where we break down the Cardinals Seahawks game. You can also follow Tyler for all updates on the injury report, preview for the Seattle Seahawks, everything under the sun related to the Arizona Cardinals at T Drake for Sports. You can follow me at Koval_Lauren, and you can follow the pod at AZ Cards Corner. Until Sunday, fingers crossed for the Cardinals secondary, guys, because they'll need a little bit of help against this Seattle Seahawks offense. And with those final thoughts, prayers, crossing fingers, whatever you want, that is this episode of Cardinals Corner. So we'll see you guys back here on Sunday. Thanks.